Well, hi there. I'm glad you came. I've just been reading a few notes that I took earlier today. You probably noticed I'm reading with my fingers. I'm reading something called Braille, which is the way people who don't see with their eyes read. I don't see with my eyes, so I have to read with my fingers. And as a matter of fact, I even have a special watch that people who don't see wear so they know what time it is. Oh my goodness, my watch is telling me that it is time for us to start the concert. So let me tell you what. What I'd like to do is, if you're watching this concert, if you would like to send a message, I would like for you to either write or have the grown-up who's with you write your first name and a message and send it to me. I won't be able to read them all, but you will be able to see them, and Sonia, who is my camera operator and my reader, will read these messages. It's time for us to sing. Are you ready? I hope you are, because I am. Live and grow. Here we go. Oh, live and grow. Live and grow. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. That's how it goes. You can sing it with me if you'd like to live and grow. Here we go. Oh, live and grow. Live and grow. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. Now we're talking about houses here. I don't know what your house is like. Some people have big houses and some people have small houses. Some people don't have a house at all. Watch this. Here we go. Oh, now some people live in a great big house with a great big beautiful yard. Some people live in a palace house with cooks and servants and guards. Well, some people live in a tiny, tiny village and they don't have shoes for their feet. Some people live in a broken down house and they don't have food to eat. But people live and grow. Live and grow. Sing with me. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. Oh yeah. Well now, some people live in a tent in the desert and they walk on the hot, hot sand. Ooh. Some people live on a boat in the ocean and they can't even see the land. Oh, some people live in a house on a mountain where you almost touch the clouds. That's way up there, isn't it? Some people live in a downtown house where the traffic is busy and loud. But people live and grow. Live and grow. Sing with me. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. Houses. Here we go. Well now, some people live in a busy house with people they know and love. Some people live in two separate houses just 'cause that's the way things move. Oh, some people live and that really, really makes me sad. But people live and go, live and go. So many ways to live and go. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and go. Oh yeah! Now we've got everything we need in this beautiful world to make a home and food for everyone. But we can't be greedy and we can't be selfish, and we've got to learn to share if it's going to be done. Sing it with me. Live and go. Live and go. So many ways to live and go. Oh, all around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and go. All right. That's all. You know what? This morning, in this room, we had to move a lot of furniture around because we had to change our living room into a video studio and get just the right angle so that you could see the piano and you could see my fingers and you could see this keyboard up here and you could see my hands if I'm tapping my knees, making rhythm. And so we moved a lot of the furniture around. Now, if a person doesn't see with their eyes, and if you move the furniture around, you know what happens? They have to be really, really careful because they could be bumping into stuff, falling over a table or falling over a chair. So after we got the furniture moved around, I had to have somebody helping me to find my way around the room because changes can be a little, you know, a little scary, huh, sometimes. Changes all around us, everywhere we go. Changes all around us, everybody knows. Changes all around us, whatever can we say? We will help each other find our way. Moving the furniture, changing it around. Moving the furniture, turning it all around. Moving the furniture, what can I say? First time through I'll need someone to help me find my way. 'Cause changes around us, everywhere we go. Changes around us, everybody knows. Changes around us, whatever can we say? We will help each other find our way. Sometimes change is easy, but sometimes change is tough. Sometimes change is just what we want. Sometimes change can feel so tough. Sometimes change makes us feel so sad and makes us not feel strong. But it's all right to cry, my friends. That's why we're singing this song about those changes all around us, everywhere we go. Changes all around us, everybody knows. Changes all around us, what more can we say? We will help each other find our way. So what we did this morning is I walked through the room with my wife Jane, who said, here's where the table is, and here's where the couch is, and here's where all the chairs are. So I walked through a couple of times to find my way, and now, with all those changes, I can find my way around this room. And I hope we don't have to change it anytime soon. There are, sing it with me, changes all around us, everywhere we go. Changes all around us, everybody knows. Changes all around us, what more can we say? We will help each other find our way. We will help each other find our way. We will help each other find our way. So speaking of changes, I want to tell you a story. This is one of my favorite stories. I made it up a long time ago, and I keep telling it all the time. This is a story about a creature, a little girl, and her mom. The creature is a creature who has a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. Now, I'll bet you've never seen a creature quite like that in your life. I don't imagine there's a creature like that in your school or hanging around your house with a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. His name was Gorgles, G-O-R-G-L-E-S, Gorgles. And by the way, if you have some stuff to draw with, crayons or pencils or whatever, maybe you'd like to draw these things as I tell the story. Now, Gorgles lived all by himself in the park, under the park bench. And you'd have to look real hard to find him under that bench. And the reason he lived all by himself is because he didn't have any friends. I mean, the turtles liked his shell, but they couldn't stand his, face, right. And people, they might like his face, but they didn't like his, shell. And so he lived all by himself, and he sang this very lonely song. I've got a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. Nobody wants me and I'm all alone. Help me now, would you? I've got a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. Nobody wants me, and I'm all alone. Let's sing it like an opera. If you sing this song like an opera, it would sound like this. I've got a shell like a turtle, and a face like a person. Nobody wants me, and I'm all alone. Later on, we'll find some other ways to sing this. But anyway, so here's Gorgles all by himself in the park, living under a park bench. Now, Maria was a little girl who happened to live just across the park from her school. Now, normally, these days, you wouldn't walk across the park by yourself. But you can do lots of things in a story that you can't do in real life. So in my story, Maria could walk across the park from her house to her school, and from her school back to her house. Now, Maria was very fond of whistling, and whenever she walked across the park, she used to whistle. Now, I can't whistle. As hard as I try, I'm not a good whistler, but I'll bet you're a better whistler than I am. And the whistle song went like this. Sometimes I can whistle, but not right now. So why don't you help me by whistling this song, okay? Ready? That's good. I'm doing better. So one day, Maria was walking home from school to her house, and she happened to come across this park bench in the park, and she thought, I should look under the bench to see if there are any really cool treasures down there. So she looked under the park bench. Oh, sometimes you find a candy bar, or sometimes you find a bracelet, or sometimes you find, who knows what you'll find under a park bench. And there was Gorgles. And the first time Maria saw Gorgles, she kind of let out a scream, oh, yike! And then she looked again and saw his face. And she said, hey, you're kind of cute. Well, Gorgles said, no, I'm not cute at all. After all, I've got a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. Nobody wants me, and I'm all alone. Let's sing it like a good old country song, okay? I've got a shell like a turtle and a face like a person. Nobody wants me, and I'm all alone. Maria said, no, 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 no. You're cute, and I'm going to take you home with me because you can be my new brother. My mom won't let me have a brother. Well, Gorgles had no idea what home was. The only place Gorgles knew was under his park bench. And so Maria said, oh no, I have a house, a really nice house. It's not a big house, but it's a nice house. You can come live in my house. And so she took Gorgles and they began to walk together across the park all the way to Maria's house. And she said, I'm going to teach you my whistling song. Now, Gorgles could not whistle. No matter how hard he tried, he could not whistle. So he just went foof, like this. Foof, 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 foof. Foof, 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 foof. Foof, 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 foof. So Maria was whistling. Gorgles was foofing. Foof, 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 foof. You choose what part you want. Foof, 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 foof. Foof, foof. Well, they finally got to the house, and Maria banged on the front door. Mom, I'm home! And Mom came to the door. She opened the door, and she looked at Maria, and she looked at Gorgles, and looked at Maria, and looked at Gorgles. Who's this? Well, Maria said, this is going to be my new brother. I don't think so, said Mom. I think we're quite happy by ourselves, you and me. I don't think we need another creature in the house. Why don't you let this creature go back where he belongs? And she ushered Maria into the house, and she closed the door. Well, poor old Gorgles was left outside, and when you've even seen a house for a little while, even a few seconds, and then you get tossed out again, it makes you sadder than ever. I could have been living in a beautiful house, and now I've got to go back to my park bench. And so he walked back to his park bench, singing his lonely song, which you can sing now because you know it. Ready? I've got a shell like a turtle, and a face like a person. Nobody wants me, and I'm all alone. Well, Gorgles wasn't the only one who was sad. Who else do you suppose was sad, huh? Yeah, Maria. She was very, very sad. In fact, she was a kind of upset, really. But later on, Maria did what was probably not a really good thing to do. You can do things in stories which you should never do in real life. Maria walked out the back door around the block while Mom was doing the dishes, and she walked all the way to the park, and she sat on the park bench, and she said to Gorgles, Gorgles, if Mom won't have you, then she's not going to have me either. I'm going to stay here forever. Yeah, you're right. Now, that was maybe a silly thing to say, but sometimes kids can be silly. So she decided she'd stay there forever. Well, after a little while, it got kind of dark in the park. You might say it was a dark park, and that would be a rhyme. And it got cold in the park. And then it began to rain, and then it began to thunder and lightning, and Maria began to cry. Oh no, I'm so scared. I want my mom. I want to go home, but I want my Gorgles. I don't know what to do. I'm all afraid and scared and dark and wet and miserable. Meanwhile, poor old Gorgles under the park bench didn't quite know what to do. He wanted to help his new friend, but it was rainy and dark, and he'd never gone out from his park bench except to walk one time to Maria's house. And then he got an idea. I'll go tell her mom where she is. And so, in the middle of the night, in the dark, in the rain, in the wet, in the wind, he walked all the way to Maria's house, and he was foofing the whistle song. You can do it with me. Ready? Foof, 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 foof. Foof, 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 foof. Foof, 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 foof. He banged on the front door, and Mom came to the door, and she opened the door and took one look at Gorgles, and she almost fainted. And then she said, what are you doing here? And he said, do you know where your little girl is? Well, I think so. I think she's up in her room doing her homework. No, she's at the park, sitting on our park bench. Whoa, you know what Mom did then. She ran as fast as she could, all the way to the park. And there was Maria sitting on that park bench, all cold and wet and alone and lonely, crying, I want my mom, but I want my Gorgles too. And it's dark and wet and cold and everything, and I'm so scared. Well, Mama came and put her arms around Maria and said, okay, I'll tell you what. If you want him that badly, we'll bring him in the house. But he better behave, and he's not going to be your brother. And so in the middle of the night, they were walking through the park. Maria was whistling, and Gorgles was foofing. Foof, 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 foof. And Mom, who happened to be an opera singer, was going la 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 la. You can choose your own part. You can whistle, or you can foof, or you can la. Ready? Here we go. La 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 la. Foof, 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 foof. La 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 la. Well, they got to the house. And Maria thought everything would be just hunky-dory. But sometimes there are problems if you're a Gorgles and you've lived all by yourself under a park bench and there's no mom or dad or caretaker or housekeeper or whatever to tell you it's time to wash your hands and brush your teeth and get up and get ready for school. And all of a sudden, there's this mother person who's saying, Gorgles, it's time to brush your teeth. It's time to get ready for school, because Gorgles was going to learn just like Maria. He was going to go to school with Maria. Imagine having a Gorgles in your school. Sometimes Gorgles didn't like that, and sometimes he'd go into his room and really feel bad, and sometimes even bad. He'd put his headphones on and listen to music really loud. But it wasn't always that way, and sometimes things were really good, like every day Maria would sing a little song to Gorgles, and it went like this. Do you know shell there was the rest of a real person, but she did. And she sang that song every day. And every morning there was a hug when Gorgles got out of bed. And there was a big hug at breakfast time. And there was a big hug before going to school. And there was a big hug coming home from school. And even Mom got into the hugging thing. And there was a hug right after supper and a big old hug before going to bed. Now, a funny thing happens to a Gorgles shell with all that hugging. Every day it gets a little thinner, and 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 one day it cracks! And out of that shell there steps a real, live, honest-to-goodness boy. Now the story doesn't name him, but you can give him a name if you'd like to. And you can draw his picture if you'd like to, if you've got stuff to draw with. I've given him different names every time I tell the story. Sometimes I call him Gordon, and sometimes I call him Jeff. And sometimes I've called him, Carlos. And sometimes I've called him Mohammed. I've given him all kinds of different names. But you can give him your own name. And every time now that Maria would sing, "Do you know that you're a person?" Gorgles would answer like this. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm beautiful. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm okay. That might be a good song for you to sing, sometimes to yourself, and sometimes to the people around you. Let's practice it. Yes, I know. Here we go. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm beautiful. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm okay. Sometimes people live in a kind of a shell. Like there's sometimes what I call the anger shell, where you're some people are always mad. I don't know why, they just seem always mad. Or sometimes there's the scared shell. I feel afraid, and so I go sort of hide in the corner. Or sometimes there's the bully shell, because we're really kind of scared to just be ourselves, and so we think we have to be big and strong. We wear different shells, and sometimes it's good for us to help each other come out of those shells. Let's just sing it one more time, okay? Yes, I know that I'm a person. Here we go. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm beautiful. Yes, I know that I'm a person. Yes, I know that I'm okay. Now I'm going to take a little break from the music to tell you a couple of things. One, there are 2 children's CDs that we have ready for you to buy. One is called Kids Play, and the other is called Piano Stories. Piano Stories is a CD that was made several years ago, and we've just brought it back because it's got some really cool songs and stories. And you can, if you go to my website, www.kenmedema.com, and go to our store, you can get these CDs right now with songs and stories just right for you. I'm also going to tell the grown-ups who might be sitting in the room with you that if they want to donate to help our music stay alive in these crazy times when I can't do concerts on the road, if you'd like to donate to this effort, you can go to www.interluderetreats.org, and there's a button that helps you know how to donate to this cause, to keep this music going. I want to do a concert every week, and maybe some weeks 2 concerts, but at least 1 concert a week for as long as we can. Sometimes it'll be a children's concert, sometimes it'll be a concert for adults. Now, I want to ask Sonia, have we got any comments or messages from people?
Yes, a lot of comments, and I'll read a few of them, starting from the top. We've got Lucy and Teddy are watching from Virginia.
Whoa!
And it says their mom has been listening to Ken since she was a little girl in the 80s.
Wow!
Hi from Fort Worth. Rosalind is so excited.
Oh, good!
Let's see, Susan Fitz, Nora from Washington.
Whoa!
Lots and lots here.
People from everywhere, all kinds of places.
Annika from Pennsylvania. Yes, lots and lots.
My word. Well, I have a song about feeling, because we all have feelings, and sometimes we just need to say how we feel, and sometimes that's not so easy, is it? So this song says, sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. So I'm going to sing it for you, but then we'll sing it together. I really like it when you sing, even if I can't hear you. If I know that you're singing, it makes me feel a whole lot better. It goes like this. Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. Maybe you feel that way too. Sing it with me, okay? Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. 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 Maybe you feel that way too. Sometimes I feel like I need a friend. 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 Maybe you feel that way too. That's my pretend violin. Don't have a real violin, but I can sound almost like a violin. How about, sometimes I feel like I'm just okay. 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 Maybe you feel that way too. Sometimes I feel like really getting mad. 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 Maybe you feel that way too. Our next verse is sometimes I feel like I really want to talk. Sometimes I feel like I really want to talk. Sometimes I feel like I really want to talk. Sometimes I feel like I really want to talk. Maybe you feel that way too. Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. Sing it with me. Here we go. Sometimes I feel like saying how I feel. Sometimes I feel like saying I'll tell you what let's do. Let's go back to our house theme. Just 1 second, I have to adjust the pedal way down on the floor under my feet. Okay. Let's go back to our house theme. And 2 songs about houses. One is a song called 4 Little Pigs. Now, I know we've all heard the story about 3 little pigs, but this is a story about 4 little pigs, each one building a house. So if you have stuff to draw with, maybe you'd like to imagine what these houses are like. And I'll sing the song, and then we'll see what these houses turn out to be. So the song starts like this. 4 little pigs, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one built a house. The first one built a house on top. A very, very, very fine house. Talking in the morning, talking in the evening, talking the whole long day. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Blew the little house away. Blew the little house away. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Next house is made of dreaming. Here we go. 4 little pigs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one built a house. The second one built a house out of dreams, a very, very, very fine house. Dreaming in the morning, dreaming in the evening, dreaming the live long day. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Blew the little house away. Oh no! Blew the little house away. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Oh my, let's see. Our third house is made of, let's see, let's make it out of work. Okay, the working is a really good thing to do. Ready? Here we go. 4 little pigs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one built a house. The third built a house out of work. A very, very, very fine house. Oh, working in the morning, working in the evening, working the live long day. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Blew the little house away. Ha! Blew the little house away. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Only 1 pig left. What do you suppose that pig's house will be made of? I'll tell you. That pig is going to make a house out of playing, because everybody likes to play. Okay, here we go. 4 little pigs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one built a house. The fourth one built a house out of play, a very, very, very fine house. Along came a wolf, banging on the door. No. Playing in the morning, playing in the evening, playing the live long day. Sorry. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. Blew the little house away. Yeah, blew the little house away. Along came a wolf, banging on the door, and blew the little house away. How do you build a love house? How do you make it strong? How do you build a love house so it will last you long? Oh, well, you cannot build a love house with wood and brick and glass. It takes talking and working and dreaming and playing to make a love house last. To make a love Now, if you have coloring material around, we're going to do a song called Color a House. Now, I don't know what your favorite color is. I don't really have a favorite color because I can't see colors. I hear people talk about colors. People say like, you know, red is the color of a fire engine. It's a color of strawberries. It's a color, red's sort of a hot color. And people talk about blue as being a kind of a cool, calm color. I don't know much about that. But I do know it's fun to sing about colors. And so if you've got coloring material, or even if you haven't, you can imagine. I'm going to color a house, and it goes like this. Oh, I'm going to color a house, please. I'm going to color it red. 'Cause red is the color of strawberries and fire engines. I'm going to color it red. Red, red, red. Red as the hair on your red, red head. I'm gonna color a house, please. I'm gonna color it red. Well, now I'm gonna color a house, please. I'm gonna color it blue. 'Cause blue is the color of the sky and the ocean. I'm gonna color it blue. Blue, blue, blue. Blue like the sky I share with you. Well, I'm gonna color a house, please. I'm gonna color it blue. I'm gonna color it yellow. 'Cause yellow is the color of a ripe, ripe banana. I'm gonna color it yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow like a mellow yellow fellow. That's a lot of rhymes. I'm gonna color a house, please. I'm gonna color it yellow. Green is the color of grass and the trees. I'm gonna color it green. Green, green, green. Green like a grass and a green, green bean. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Nice green beans. I'm gonna color a house, please. I'm gonna color it green. Any old color you wish. Any old color you wish. 'Cause you're not a person, you're a person, not a fish. Yeah. You are a person, not a fish, that's right. You are a person and you're not a fish. So you can color a house, please. Any old color you. Any old color you. Any old color you wish. And that's true. You can make a red house, a green house, a purple house, a yellow house, any color house you want. Because you can make choices. You can make choices to feel good or feel bad. You can make choices to stay angry, or you can make choices to get over your anger. You can make choices to not deal with changes very well, or you can make choices to deal with changes better. You have a lot of choices you can make, and that's part of what living and growing is all about. Our bodies grow, you know, physically. Our voices change because sometimes when we're children we have a high voice, and then when you get to be a grown-up, sometimes you have a low voice. I have a kind of a low voice sometimes. Your body changes. You get, you know, you get hair. You get different. Your body takes different shapes. You grow taller. All that, but your brain grows too. Your brain grows. You learn more stuff. You learn to know things. You learn to like learning. Your brain just always keeps on growing. Your patience keeps on growing. Your feelings keep on growing. Your spirit keeps on growing. I love it when we all keep growing. Keep on growing every day. Keep on growing in so many ways. Keep on growing every day. Keep on growing in so many ways. Keep on growing every day. Keep on growing in so many ways. Keep on growing every day. Keep on growing in so many ways. I'm going to ask Sonia to read a few more of the comments that we may have gotten from people across the country. And you've been seeing them on the screen, but I'm going to ask her to read some of those, okay? Would you?
Yes, absolutely. Lots and lots and lots of comments. We have Willa Covey, who's 7 years old in Portland, Oregon, loves You Can. Cool CDs too. And we have Annika and Tiffany locally here. We've got Caitlin is watching from New Jersey. We've got the Barlow Boys, Peyton, Nolan, and Boston from Dalton, Georgia, are really enjoying the concert.
Hey, check out Barlow Boys. Check out those Barlow Boys. All the way down there in Georgia. Check out the Barlow Boys. Check out those Barlow Boys. Check out those Barlow Boys. All the way down there in Georgia. Check out the Barlow Boys. Yeah! Who else?
Well, this one was funny. Glenn Gall is saying that he's singing, and he's like, I'm mostly harmonizing. And then this one was really fun. This says, hi from Illinois. This is Joni Cundiff's granddaughter, Brooklyn.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, Brooklyn. We're enjoying the concerts. And could you play a song about learning to ride a bike? I started learning last summer, but I feel like I'm having to learn all over again. And I'm frustrated, and I don't want to give up.
Oh, yes. Let's do that. Riding a bike was easy, at least last summer it was. Riding a bike was easy, and now I've had to pause. Could not ride in the winter, all the snow on the ground. Could not ride in the winter time. And now when I try to ride my bike, I just keep falling down. Oh no. Riding a bike was easy, it did not give me pain. Now the riding is much more difficult, having to learn again. And I'm having to be patient, I'm having just to wait. I want to learn right now. I feel like it's too late. But if I'm very patient, and if I take my time, I will get to learn to ride this silly bike of mine. Riding a bike will be easy if I will take my time. Riding a bike will be easy, this silly bike of mine. And if I start to practice as hard as I can, someday I'll able to ride so well. Someday I'll able to ride so well. I will be able to ride so well. But wait! I may not be able to ride as far as I used to ride, maybe because you riding out there on the street with lots and lots of people around, you may have to ride in your own driveway or maybe in a very small space. Be careful where you ride. Be careful where you ride your bike. Be careful where you go. Be careful in these very strange times, which everybody should know. Be careful where you go. Be careful where you go. Riding your bike, that's what you like. 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 There we go. I want to say one more time for the grown-ups who may be watching, if you would like to donate to help these concerts stay alive, you can go to www.kenmedema.com or to www.interluderetreats.org. And either way, you'll find, if you go to Ken Medema, you'll find a link that says Interlude. And if you go there, you'll find a donation page where you can give to help us keep things going. Now, Interlude is a non-profit, which is a big word, which means that the grown-ups around you can get a deduction, a tax deduction for making this contribution. So I hope you will go on the website, and I hope also you will order the 2 CDs, Kids Play and Piano Stories. If you don't have a CD player, and a lot of people don't even have a CD player anymore, then you can download these albums. I'd love to see what would happen if you would get these albums and then draw every song that you hear. Draw some colors, make some pictures, maybe even make some videos on your phone or on the computer, some videos of yourself acting out all these stories. That would be really kind of fun. I love the idea of people drawing these songs and acting them out because we want to keep our brains growing. And some of you are not in school, a lot of you are not in school, and some of you may be missing school, and we really want to keep those brains growing, don't we? I have really had a wonderful time being with you today. It's almost time for us to say goodbye. I want us to sing our song, Live and Grow. And this time I wanted to sing it like a sort of a quiet song. Live and grow, so many ways to live and grow. Live and grow, everywhere, wherever you, boy, I'm getting confused. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. Let's sing it together, here we go. Live and grow, so many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. Do you know that you're a person? Do you know that you're beautiful? Do you know that you're a person? Do you know that you're okay? It's time to live and grow, live and grow. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and go. Changes all around us, everywhere we go. Changes all around us, everybody knows. Changes all around us, whatever can we say? We will help each other find our way. It's time to live and grow, live and grow. So many ways to live and grow. All around the world, wherever you go, people find so many ways to live and grow. be at our last week's time, 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern time. I hope everybody will join next week, Wednesday. Almost the same time, same station for sure. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a wonderful time together. I hope you've enjoyed the hour. I hope you'll find those CDs. And for goodness sakes, help us keep this thing going. Oh, have a great week. Bye-bye.